Hey, it's John Nemo. So going to show you how to use Sales Navigator to build a list of prospects in the accountant, bookkeeper, and CPA niche. So we're going to do kind of a deep dive here and show you what filters to use, how to get a list, all that good stuff. So first thing is when you log into Sales Navigator, just click on lead filters right there. That's going to pull up a new screen with all these different filters. So company related, related to their role, workflow. I mean, there's a million filters, right? So I'm just going to walk you through the ones that we need and then how to build a list, okay? So let's start in the personal area. Connection level is, obviously first degree or people you're already connected to. If I chose that, right, it should pull up all my first degree connections, which for me, I have more than 15,000, including Rosie the dog, apparently. Hang on. And obviously in this case, I don't want first degree. I want a list of second and third degree new people to connect to. So I'll do second degree and I'll do third degree. These are people I'm not connected to, so I'm going to need to invite them to connect and all that good stuff. So it's going to spit out a list over here just based on my current network, right? Over 900 million people I could potentially connect with. Now that's too many. So we're going to whittle it down here as we go. So connection level, second or third. Geography, let's just do always the United States. It's just easier. That's our obviously where we're located. So we're going to do United States. Industry. So we're going to use that and we're going to say accounting, right? Because we want accountants, bookkeepers, and CPAs. Include. So you're going to click that. Now exclude is interesting. So let's say we could choose financial services. We don't want financial services. We don't want financial planners. We don't want financial forecasting, financial consultants. So you can actually click exclude and that will tell LinkedIn like, hey, do not put anybody in there who's in financial services, only accounting. Now you don't have to do that. It'll only use what you choose. But that's where like if you have two industries that are similar, like financial services and accounting, you can just be like, hey, just to cover my bases, I don't want any financial services people sneaking in here, only people with an accounting industry kind of focus. And again, the idea here is you're trying to figure out, you're kind of trying to guess what the prospect would say. Like if I'm Sally Jones, a CPA, how would I self-identify on LinkedIn? Would I say my industry is Sally Jones as accounting or financial services? Well, I would probably say accounting, right? So that's why we're guessing that industry. Years of experience. So this is another one. Obviously, depending on how many years of experience they have, it's going to really impact our messaging and our approach and whether or not they'd be a good client. Now, typically, if somebody is brand new, like I'm a brand new accountant, I'm a brand new CPA, even if they own their own firm, typically they're not going to really have the runway, the budget, et cetera, for done for you. So we typically don't want to build lists of these folks. We can. But I would rather get these people here where, 6 years, more than 10 years, etc. So for this example, for this list, let's just stick with more than 10 years. So far we've built out second and third degree, U.S., accounting industry, not financial services. Get all those people out of here, more than 10 years. You can see this number shrank from 900 million to 740,000, right? So let's keep going. So then we're not going to use any of these other filters in this block as far as connections, profile language. We're not going to use the workflow ones at this point. What we're going to do is pivot over here to the company filter. And then we're going to look at, I don't think there's anything in here. I might come back to this. Sometimes we want to look at if they're self-employed, how many employees they have. We'll come back to that. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. We won't use any of the other stuff. We'll spend a lot of time in this one with the roles, right? So let's go right to the key thing, which is their seniority level. We want the owners, right? Owner. We want decision makers. So you don't want to connect with, unpaid interns, right? You can see here, right? You want to connect with the owner. You want to connect with the decision maker, the person that owns the accounting agency, the bookkeeping company. You want to always connect with the owner of the business, okay? So we're going to look at that, and we're going to say the seniority level is owner, and then we're going to look at job titles. And we're going to say, okay, we want people with the job title CPA, so include that. We want people with the job title accountant, so include that. We want the job title bookkeeper, so let's include that. CPA, accountant, and bookkeeper. Those are three great titles. Those should work. Let's also just throw in the title owner, and we'll throw in co-owner, because some people might refer to themselves as owner, John Nemo Accounting, right? That might be their job title. So let's not exclude that. Principal owner. Okay. So the key is now we're getting this list smaller and smaller. So it went from 700,000 to 64,000. So you can see here, this guy is a good prospect, right? Because David, he's the owner of his company, right? He doesn't identify as a CPA in his LinkedIn headline. His LinkedIn headline says he's, quote, owner. So that's why I put that in the job title, but he is a CPA, right? And he owns his own business. So he's a good lead for us, okay? Same here, CPA and owner, right? So that's the job title. It hits two of them. Owner, consulting. So he might not be a fit. So I'll show you how to get rid of people that aren't a good fit. And we're going to keep going. Owner, CPA, that's good. Owner, CPA, company owner, Lloyd Group. Let's see. You can always just click the see more. Okay. See, sometimes you're going to have to open them and check, and we'll whittle these out, but you're getting the idea, right? So then the other big differentiator under, this role filter. So we got the job title, seniority level, owner. I like people who have been with our company a long time. So let's do more than 10 years. I've been at the current company for 10 years plus, and I've been in my current position for more than 10 years. And the reason I like those filters is if you're the owner, okay, you're the owner, you've been the owner for more than 10 years, you've had the company for more than 10 years, you're established, you've got some budget, you've got some clients, you've got some track record. Those are good leads for us typically. So let me shrink out a little bit here. Now we can go up and see, okay, we still have a list of 5,000 plus results. That's too big. We got to shrink this to 1,000. So let's go in and let's look. I'm going to look and see. We could shrink it. Like some people will say their function is accounting. So you can play with these filters to shrink it. Let's just see what this spits out. CPA, owner, MBA. You can also mouse over this and it'll tell you accounting. I offer this stuff. So he's a good lead. You can mouse over and see. Sometimes it'll say more if they have a company page. Financial planning, advising clients, preparing companies for sale. Okay. Owner, accounting services, which is pitch perfect, right? So you kind of want to look through and see. And again, this shrunk the lead to around 1,000, which is good. Let's look under function to see if there's any other good kind of bookkeeping. Let's look at tax. Nope. So one of the things we can do, I'm trying to think if there's anything else here I want to play around with. Hang on. So one of the things I'm going to do, I actually deleted the function. I took that out. And then the list went back up to 5,000. But I'm going to shrink it by geography. So if you click on the plus sign under geography, it will tell you if you mouse over it. Okay, you got 376 people in New York. You got 197 in San Francisco. You got 318 in LA. You got 155 in Chicago. And what you can do is make little niche lists. So what I'm going to do for this is click New York City. And then what will happen is it will spit out. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I have to take off United States. So if I take off United States and only do New York, it should say 376. Yep. Okay. So now I've got 376 people in New York City, which again, now we can personalize things a little bit in the invite and the messaging. We know that everyone we're reaching out to says they're based in New York City. So we can talk about the Big Apple, or some icebreakery stuff. So that's one of the benefits to niching your list by geography. If you did a second list of Chicago-based accountant, bookkeeper, and CPA owners, now we can do, Windy City, Chicago Bears, all that stuff. So let's just niche it out a little bit. And then let's just skim the list before we bring it over. So we've got a CPA. You can see here he's in New Jersey, which is New York area. Owner, great, Brooklyn, New York. Owner, property rentals. Bookkeeping and accounting firm. Okay, we offer bookkeeping and consulting. So he's probably got two different businesses is why, and that's why sometimes you have to skim through and kind of look at it. Owner of PricewaterhouseCoopers, I doubt it. Let's see, open in a new tab if you're ever not sure. Partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers. Partner. So she's probably like works for PwC as like a consultant. So she's not really a good lead. And this is the problem sometimes with LinkedIn. We have to kind of look and see. Partner. I wonder, okay, she must do some accounting for them. I'm not sure why she's in there. Now, later on, we can take these people out of a search. But again, I want you to like always kind of look through and just make sure most of these people look good, right? First Steps Financial, the owner, CPA, owner. Yeah, these guys are looking good. Owner, CPA. Sometimes people are going to sneak through this owner D book so you can kind of read between the lines. Okay, so what I'm going to do, before I go any further, I have saved my search. I feel good. Remember, we want a list of less than 1,000. So now we're going to save it in Sales Navigator. You're going to click Save Search, and you're going to give it a special name. So Save Search, you're not just going to do a blank name. So you're going to do NYC, right, location, and then let's do ABC, accountant, bookkeeper, CPA audience. So ABC owners. So New York City, accountant, bookkeeper, CPA owners, and then 10 plus years. What that means is they are the owner. They're an accountant, bookkeeper, or CPA. They're the owner. They're based in New York City, and they've owned it for 10 plus years. Remember those filters? And then we'll do second, and then we'll do second and third level. So that's kind of what that abbreviation means is location, type of prospect, what their role is, the owner, how long they've been the owner, and then their second and third degree. Now, save the search. Key thing I want to show you, LinkedIn doesn't stop searching. So when you go to your saved searches, notice this new results tab. So I'm going to get my little pointer here. Okay. I just built this list, right? If I come back in a day, 2 days, a week, it's going to say, hey, I found 54 new people that fit that criteria. So if I said, hey, I want to find first level franchise consultants I'm connected to, it initially built a list, but then it kept looking and it found 3 new ones. You can just click on that and load those people and add them, right? And if I click new, it'll just show the 54 new people or the 35 new results or whatever it is, right? That's how to kind of from scratch build your list of prospects in the accountant, bookkeeper, and CPA niche. So one more quick thing I want to add with this particular training is also exclude some job titles. Again, you want to go in and exclude stuff like fitness coach, life coach, job coach, health coach. And the way that you do that is you simply I'll just delete health coach and re-add it. Just click on the little plus button under job title, and then just type in the word coach and look for ones that you know are not a good fit. Like we don't want a health coach, right? So then I went in and I typed in like coach and all these different topics pulled up, and then actually trimmed my list. It trimmed about 20 or 30 names off, which is great. The other thing you can do is use Boolean search. Now, Boolean is just a command that you type in to remove or look for certain keywords. So I'm going to say not, which means I do not want profiles, and then you put a quotation mark, not sports, and then you say or fitness or health, right? I don't want sports coaches, fitness coaches, or health coaches. And that should reduce the number a little bit more. So that reduced it by like another 13, 15 people. This just helps you a little bit. Try to trim your list and get better results. Again, you want to get rid of industries, keywords, topics you know are not a fit. And just having done this long enough, I know like if you don't do this, you will get sports and fitness and health and life coaches lumped in here. We don't want that. We want business coaches only. So that's just a quick tip on how to exclude some job titles and then how to do some Boolean searches as well. And before I finish, I'll actually show you, LinkedIn has a help article on Boolean. So you just type that. It's basically, you're saying like, go up to the keyword box and say, I do not want these keywords, or I want coach and sports, or you know what I mean? So again, I'll link to this. This is the search I used was a not search, like not followed by a term you wanted to exclude, right? So not programmer, not manager, or coach, not sports, or stuff like that. So you can get pretty nerdy and pretty nuanced. I'll link to this, but again, it's worth playing around with just to help trim, and this will give you a real quick explanation of how to use it.